Okay, hello, you're welcome everybody. Come on in and join this wonderful lady, Sarah Smith, who's going to tell her story.
Mm.
And the key message that's going to come out of this is the importance to diversify your income. But we're not going to start there, but that's where we're going to end up, right, Sarah? So
That's
Sarah, for people who don't know you, just tell us, so you've been in the photography industry for a very long time.
right. A
Talk us
very long
through talk us through how you got involved in the photography industry, and then we progress from there. So how did you get involved in photography?
well, it's a very long story. I need your consultation as a story brand certified coach. But first of all, I want to thank you so much for inviting me here. And I've watched so many of these, and it's just been such a delight. And you're such an inspiration for the industry. But it really started, I was the yearbook editor at my high school, which probably a lot of people were. And I went to have my senior pictures taken, and at a fabulous 3-generation studio in Marion, Ohio. And I actually wanted to be a meteorologist. I wanted to be the weather girl.
Okay. on TV.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Which back in the day when I was in high school, like that really wasn't even hardly a thing, female. But I won all these science fair competitions. I made my own thermometer and barometer, and I was going to be the weather girl. And but then my parents got me a camera for my 16th birthday. And I said, I always say the forecast changed once I got that camera in my hand. But then I went to my senior picture session, which was just like head and shoulder, look here, look there kind of thing, with really bad hair. And I didn't even post it lately when everybody was posting. But anyway, I had fallen in love with photography and got Peterson's photographic magazine. And I just so happened the next day, my parents were going to drive me an hour and a half from our home in their station wagon with wood on the side to a Dean Collins seminar. And if I bet some people out there remember the fabulous Dean Collins. And so I told my photographer that, and he was like, oh, a lot of that's going to go over your head. And it really did, but I just never looked back. And they hired me. That's fabulous studio. And within
what did
3 years, I managed their largest location. Go ahead.
What drew you to photography? What was it? What was that attraction?
People. I mean, I just adore people and the relationships people have. And I know so many people share that. But also just families and their interaction. My family had a rocky road. My sister passed away when she was 15. And we didn't even have one snapshot, not even a snapshot of all of us together. And I was only 4 years old. And so just that, I just had such a passion for capturing the love between people. Maybe that, Ronan, like that maybe I missed,
Yes, that was the trigger. You didn't want people to miss out on what you and your family had missed out on.
Yeah. And so whenever a mom would be like, oh, I'll have that done when I lose 20 pounds. I'd be like, oh, no. You come here. I'll take care of you. And that fueled me. I mean, like even to this day, Ronan, we go on these beautiful trips together and these gorgeous, loving groups, and everybody's taking scenics, and I don't even do that. I'm not even drawn to that. I just love people, photographing people, real people.
Very good. So what was the next step? So you started in that studio in Ohio. Is that where you sort of did your apprenticeship as such to learn the skills of the trade?
And I went to school for a while, and actually I would go to school in the off season. So I would work the busy season, like, June to December for this fabulous company. And then January to June, I'd go to school.
What did you study in school?
Photography.
Photography. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And then,
Brian.
so what happened next then? So where did your photography career go to next?
Then I worked with them for a few years, and then I went to New York and worked for another company in New York, and through life changes, relationships and life changes. And I worked a couple of years there, and I'm glad I did. Had fun in New York, but then I realized I was an Ohio girl. I'm from Ohio. My friend said it was like Green Acres in reverse. I was like the Ohio girl in the big city. And so I went back to Ohio and joined forces with my fabulous husband, Kent Smith. And we had a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful studio for 23 years.
Wow, that's a long time. Because like, I don't know if you've seen the figures, but I think it's 11.3% of businesses survive more than 25 years. So that's a long, long, long time.
Yeah. And we kind of, well, it's a lot, you know, we are thriving and transitioned our studio to a fabulous mother-daughter team who is still thriving. And we love them. We love him.
So Kent retired from the photography business.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
He's a little older than me, and so he was ready to retire.
Okay. And where did that bring you then? So was retirement difficult? Was it? Did you guys struggle with that initially, or?
Well, you know, my life path has always been guided by a higher power. And so sometimes it looks like I made really wise decisions, and sometimes I have like really amazing nudges that I would not have, I mean, I never would have dreamed of. But I always wondered, like, what's our exit strategy? We had this thriving, amazing studio where, I mean, we don't have to quote figures, but it was very thriving. And we even had such a balance that we were able to work at it for, it was physical, beautiful studio. And we had a great team of between 7 and 10 people. And we were able to physically, we were able to work 5 months a year and then spend the rest of the time. Like, we have a home in Mexico that we were able to go do charity work. And we were able to spend 4 months a year in Mexico and just do the things we want to do. We structured our business to have a very balanced life. And I always wondered, like, what's our exit strategy? And we just were so going, doing that we never figured that out. We were too busy to think about that. And especially with our age difference. And I did know, like, oh gosh, I could never run this business without my husband. And God had a different plan for me. And so in 2012, this big fabulous corporation sought me out and recruited me.
Wow, that's a big change. So this corporation had, I think you told me, 20,000 employees sometime during the year. So tell us about your job there. You know, what did it entail, and what did they want you to do, without going into too much detail, but just so people have a flavor for where you were in that organization, in the ladder, and what your main job was.
Well, you know, I led photography for this large photography company, and it was really a different type of photography. You know, my husband and I, we did more custom design portraiture. And this was high volume in many different aspects. And I really was brought in as a change agent. You know, they wanted something new, new and fresh, and I was ready to go. I mean, I'm all about doing something no one else has ever done. I love that.
So was there a team? Had you a team working with you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I had a big team. Big team of incredibly talented people, and designers and photographers and people who are very knowledgeable. And we brought more spontaneity, authenticity, heart, light, airy design into what we were doing. And, it was exciting to really affect the industry on a larger scale.
And
And
what were the
almost 7 years I did that.
So that was a big change, going from a business of 7, 8, 9, 10 people to 20,000 people. What was the difference? What was the real difference?
Well, first of all, some of my friends are like, how do you know how to do that? And I'll tell you, I mean, there's a lot of prayer involved because I didn't know how to do that, and it was
Had you retired in your head? Had you decided to? So yourself and Kent had retired from your studio, and then this opportunity came about. Were you actually looking for it at the time, or?
No, it's crazy. Okay, wait, let me step back.
Tell us the story.
We had this thriving studio. We'd spend our winters in Cabo. Our family was in Ohio. It made no sense on paper for me to walk away from our life, except that I did wonder what my exit strategy was. And our answer to this big company for a long time was like, no, that's crazy. And every time we said no, some big force turned our head back to say, you need to do this. And I guess we have time. I'll tell you this one crazy story. Okay.
Do.
We were going to say no to this, that I would, because for me to move to Minneapolis and take this big job. And we happened to be on one of those Viking River cruises. And we were talking about it every day, and like pros and cons. And the con list was like really long, and the pro list was like one or two things. And everybody who said do it had a vested interest in me doing it. And so Kent was saying, I wish we could just hear like somebody neutral saying why it would be good to move to Minneapolis, because everybody was like, Minneapolis is so great. So here we are we ended our cruise in Budapest, and we're in a hotel in Budapest, and he had to run down to the front desk for something, and he's standing in line. Kent did. He's standing in line, and this really long line, and he's waiting, and he hears this guy behind him speaking English. And so he's kind of hanging out, and finally he doesn't have anybody to talk to, and he says, hey, are you flying out here tomorrow? And they're like, yeah, we are too. And he goes, oh, where are you headed? And the guy says, Minneapolis. And he goes, oh my gosh. Oh, hey, I want to ask you, do you like Minneapolis? And the guy's like, yeah, oh my God, we love Minneapolis. We've only lived there a couple years. I love this and this and this and this and this. And Ken's like, the guy would not stop talking about how much he loved Minneapolis, because every time we had been in Minneapolis to like speak, or it was like below zero, it was horrible. It was like, why would you ever move here, right? But this guy kept talking and talking about how great it was. And so after a while, the guy was like, yeah, where are you from? And Kent goes, I'm from Columbus, Ohio. And the guy said, that's where we moved from, Columbus, Ohio.
So something connected you guys, right?
Like, come on, what are the chances in Budapest that he runs into a guy, and he had just asked, he wanted a neutral opinion, and it wasn't just somebody from Minneapolis, it was somebody who had moved from Minneapolis or from Columbus, Ohio. I mean, he came back from that and said, Sarah, maybe if you don't do this, you'll always wonder.
Yes. So how did you balance your time then? Because if you work for a big corporation like that, the demands must be massive in terms of the expectation of the hours you're going to put in and your availability, because you had sort of left your studio business, you have the place in Mexico, and now you're working for this big corporation who are probably trying to pull you away from Mexico. How did you did that happen that way, or what?
Yeah.
How did that all? Okay.
Yep, it did.
Okay.
Yep, and that was the struggle. Like, I loved what I did. We love Minneapolis. We're still here. We love it. But remember when I said my husband was older, and here he is retired. He still goes to Mexico 4 months a year. We had sold our business in Ohio to that fabulous mother-daughter. They're doing great. But now he's retired. He's in Mexico 4 months. I'd fly back and forth. I'm giving it all to corporate America. And there came a time, it was actually this Thanksgiving, where our friends said, Sarah, what are you doing? Life is short, and you really need to consider, these are the best years. And, I had maybe I would have 4 weeks in Mexico, which is great, but he would be down by himself with our dogs in Mexico. So, so in February, I exited corporate America.
Wow, that was a big decision. Do you want to say anything about how you came to that? Because
yeah, I mean, it was there are a lot of forces involved. And there was a lot of corporate restructuring, and so it was amazing. It was God's timing, I'll say that.
You guys are an XXV, right? And I was honored to become a member of the XXV family this year. So we were in Alison Tyler Jones and her sister Caroline's wonderful place in Phoenix. And I was struggling. I was after having a knee injury. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And I was actually struggling up, and I was like a man who was 80. And I was really struggling to get up and down the stairs. Thankfully, it's much better now. But you said to me at that time that you years ago had some issues, right?
Yeah.
Health-wise. Do you want to just talk about that briefly? Just so I think that'll lead into where we're going to go with the conversation.
Okay. I told Ronan, he's like Johnny Carson. I love him. He's Johnny. I mean, I don't know if everybody's young enough or old enough to know who that is, but Johnny Carson's awesome. Anyway, in 2011, so I'm photographing all the time. Like, my life was, we'd make hay when the sun shines, right? In the season, we'd photograph all day, every day, or 5 days a week. And I'd be up and down. I was always up and down on a ladder, running, chasing kids. And I'd be doing really good. I'd be exhausted in the afternoons. I'd have my yearly bout of bronchitis every year. But my biggest problem was every night, or if I was editing and working in Photoshop, I'd get up like this. And I mean, I was 46 years old. And I was like old granny. But then at night, I could not even sleep at night. I couldn't my hips hurt so bad. And finally, it takes a lot for me to go to the doctor. But I broke down. I went to the doctor. She x-rayed me, examined me, held up those old-fashioned x-rays back in the day. And she's like, well, see here, you have really bad arthritis in your hips. And I was like, oh, yeah, okay. It's all over my family. I'm doomed. Both sides of my family tree, arthritis. And I'm like, okay. And so I'm like, and in all her wisdom, she gets out her script pad and she's like, okay, here's pain pills, some technical name for it, and sleeping pills. And I was like, sleep deprived and in pain. I was like, okay. And that was me in September of 2011. So for a few months, that was me. I was making it through the day, making it through that. Remember, you guys, photographers, right? The fall. And so in December, our yearly trek, we'd fly south. We'd be in Cabo with our circle of friends, and we were at a cookie party, and we met this new, set of friends, and we went to their house for some yoga in a couple days later. And we're having a little breakfast after yoga, and I was still struggling a little bit even after all that. And someone shared with me that there was a different way. And they shared with me a more natural way to help with my arthritis. And it didn't happen, I switched over, and it wasn't like, Jeannie, it took a month and a half, 2 months, but after that, I've had zero pain.
Wow.
So it's been 8 years, and I'm moving and shaking, and just, I'm a new person. And then there's other things that this company offers that I love. And through my position in corporate America, I get to go to like the Mayo Physical for an executive physical, or the Mayo Clinic for an executive physical. And I'm not tired in the afternoon anymore. But anyway, my doctor there, he's the head of executive medicine at Mayo. And he's like, your blood work is gorgeous. He's like, you're a poster child. This year he goes, jeepers. You're jeepers, look at it. Your bones are like a 20-year-old. And every year he asks me what I'm doing, and every year I take my box, and every year he's like, oh yeah, but what are you doing? And MDs don't want to hear anything natural. But anyway, but then last year he finally said, okay, well, keep doing what you're doing. So that's a seed that somebody planted with me 8 years ago.
And you just fell in love with that company, right?
Every month after month, year after year, I fell more and more in love with this company as a customer. And I'd sit in my boardroom at the exec boardroom and daydream about someday I'd be able to, this could be my business. And so
Today it is, right?
Today it is.
Very good.
As of March 1st, which, what happened in the world?
So can we just rewind? So, because I have a little bit of an insight into this, because we were in the same group at XXV, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to say this, do you? Do you want to explain what happened? So in XXV, there's the 25 members and former members who've retired and are still there. So there's about 35 of us or thereabouts. And we split up into little groups of 4 or 5 to work on different projects at different time. And we happen to be in the same group, right?
Yeah.
With Drake and Julia, and Drake's son. What was which son's name again, Ken?
Richard, and
yourself and myself. And I missed the first day because I was speaking in the UK, and I flew out, so I missed the first day. So I missed the first day, and I come in the second day, and we're all sitting there, and you're all sharing, and then you asked me to share, and I shared my story and try and set our goals and what we wanted to do. And then you just went at one stage, I now know. I now know, you said. What did you now know?
Yeah.
You'd made a decision, right?
Yeah, because the day before. Well, okay, so I just left corporate America, and, well, I actually was still there. I was contemplating, right? And I said, I want to spend more time with Kent, and I feel like I don't have a fork in the road. I said to the little group, I said, I feel like I have a spork in the road because I have a lot of choices, and I'm not I'm not ready to retire. So I said, do I do something with my photographic knowledge of 35 years? Do I do that? Do I do something for God, which I do have big ideas for God? Or there's this company that I love, and I I've shared it with a few people that I love, like my close family and neighbors it has helped them too. It has helped me, and I love it. And I shared a little bit more, and the group came around me, and even you came around me with some beautiful, and maybe you can say what you were going to, what you shared with me, but people came around me even in 24 hours to confirm that I should go down this path of building this business in this wellness, green, clean living business that I've just fallen in love with. And Julia said, Sarah, the only thing that would keep you from it is pride.
I remember that. I remember that.
You remember that one?
Yes, I do.
And I was like, well, I'm not gonna let that keep me from it. And I'm like, well, I know. I mean, why would confirmation after confirmation after confirmation for 8 years? And I've never, my husband and I have never been known to make unwise business decisions. We're very thoughtful and thorough. So, and then even Drake goes, that's an awesome company. Whoa. He's like, they're poised to double in size without a blink. And I'm like, I know. And then tell him your adage. I loved your adage.
I think you're referring to, because you were balancing up this love for the photography industry and this new opportunity, and you were pretty much made up your mind that you were going to leave corporate America, but you were saying, how can I do this and still stay in the photography industry? And you came up then, you said, well, you suffered, as photographers, we're hard in our body, because we're up and down and all that. And what you do can actually help so many photographers. And I think that, but I think what really shows me, and it's something that you've always said, is the importance of having an open mind, right? So can you talk a little bit about what's required to have an open mind to be able to be open to these suggestions when they're put upon us, or the opportunities given, or whatever? Can you just bring us through your process of doing that?
Right. Okay. So, I think when we think we have our path set, we know our plan. I think that's when people get stuck, right? And that's when we stop growing. And I think that the key to growth is having an open mind and at least exploring options. Successful people are the ones that are open-minded and are the ones that want more success. And I know that sounds cliche, but that's why they're successful. Closed-minded people have little growth. And so my husband and I have always thought diversification in so many aspects of our life, but diversification of income has given us the lifestyle and just the lifestyle, but the freedom to, I guess it's lifestyle, the freedom to do the charity work we do, the freedom to give back the way we like to, the freedom to help others the way we like to, the freedom to run our business the way we wanted to. Because we had diversification of income, we were able to even have the foundation of our photography business the way we wanted. We weren't desperate, so we really built it the way we wanted to and had the kind of photography. We weren't desperate. We didn't take any job that came our way. We were really strong in forming the foundation and the brand and the reputation of who we wanted to be. And I think that led to amazing success. And so like, even in the diversification of our income, you know, we have, we've worked really hard in our real estate. We have, you know, holdings in commercial real estate, residential rental real estate, vacation property real estate. You know, our financial investments are diverse. You know, everything you can think of, in diversity, we've done. But
you can't put all your eggs in one basket, right?
no.
Because like, even if you talk to any financial consultant, they'll say no more than 5% in any company, and, you know, no more than 10% in any particular asset class, or maybe 20%, and, you know, spread your investments across regions and industries and all that. And like, imagine like in Ireland in 2008, when we had the crash, so many people had all their wealth in Irish banks, and they just went bust. You know, so many people lost their pensions because they thought the banks were safe, because at that time everyone thought the banks were safe. But this crisis, if nothing else, shows us nothing's safe, right? So
Right.
having that diversity of income and income streams and is really, really important. And we're lucky in the photography industry, because as photographers we actually can do that. We can actually have diverse income streams, can't we?
Yes. We have all the freedom in the world, don't we? And I look at what's happening now, and I think about even what we think we're diverse, but this crisis has touched our commercial real estate holdings a little bit. Like, okay, well, who we're renting to is their challenged. Certainly our vacation rental properties are challenged. Our financial investments have been challenged. You know, our holdings in photography of people right now are challenged. You know, so you know, even when as photographers of people, I mean, I think this is a little bit of a wake-up call. So you think you might be diversified because you're doing, well, I'm doing this type of photography of people and this type of photography of people and this type of photography of people, but shoot, this affected all photography of people. So it's just a little bit of a wake-up call. And you know, there's a lot of talk in about pivot. And I just want to make it clear, I am not talking about pivot. You know, I'm talking about diversification, because I believe in every fiber of my being. I adore this industry, and I think there's amazing strength. And I think, you know, like my grandkids on the wall here, I mean, you know, nobody could rip that out of my cold, dead hands, you know? I mean, you know, just the precious, beautiful business we're blessed to be in, and the craft, really, I should say. Oh, I mean, it goes back to that. I didn't have that in my own family because my sister left us so soon. You know, the heart of what we do. And I think in this time, it's going to come back and be amazing. But is it maybe going to be as easy? Or, you know, I think that it's good to, what's that old adage, dig a well before you're thirsty?
Yes. And Sarah, you've convinced me, and I'm sure everyone listening as well. So first step, open mind. So we've got to keep our mind open. Second step, I know you've a test, that you'd like to talk about, as to, I think the test is about your process of evaluation, everything. Can you just talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah. Well, it's just my what I did to make sure that what I was proceeding with, the business I was deciding to build and love and help other people with, was sound, as we've done with everything in our life. And so I have a few little points. First of all, you have to start with passion. It's where our photography, I mean, it's where we all started with photography, right? We're passionate about it one way or the other. For me, it was people, but I'm passionate about it because, about what I'm doing, because I feel so much stronger as a human being than I did 8 years ago. I mean, every day. And there's many other aspects about my business, but mainly I feel stronger and healthier. And so does my husband. He always says, don't forget to tell everybody how great I feel. Secondly, I need to be in a business that helps other people. I love your virtual hug. Every day I see it, it makes me so happy because
that was Jen Helinga put that together for us. So we were talking one day, and we came up with this concept, and I said, Jen, will you design it for us? And she did, and she had it done overnight. And there was one photographer who shared something with me last week that from his Facebook page alone has been shared 1,000 times.
I love it.
So thank you, Jen, for that.
Thank you, Jen.
Yes, absolutely. Another part of the XXV family. We love you.
Yes. I miss her desperately. You know, she used to live here with us in Minneapolis, and we go to church, and we go for tacos after church, and I'd text her on Saturday, go, are you up for Jesus and tacos? I miss her. She's in New York. Yes. Oh, that makes me even happier. I didn't know that was from Jen. So, yeah. Well, anyway, I need hugs in my business. So, I actually would often say, like, nobody hugs the weather girl. So I'm glad I wasn't a meteorologist. So I get hugs when you're allowed. I get hugs. I've gotten hugs in this business. Like, thank you so much. So I want to help others. In anything I'm going to do, especially joining forces and partnering with a manufacturer, I want a proven track record. If anything I learned in corporate America was data driven, you know, look at the data. I did learn a lot at that boardroom table about data driven and evidence. I want to see evidence. I don't want somebody to just tell me something. I want to see proven results and a long-term track record. So I did my homework. And I love customer loyalty. I heard Tim Walden the other day on this beautiful platform, and he's like, loyalty in this industry is dead. I went to its funeral, you know, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Tim. I mean, is he not the best, right?
Oh, amazing. Amazing.
So I wanted to be with a company that has epic loyalty with their consumer. And I mean, I live it because I've been like nothing but 100% loyal for 8 years. And I have friends who are like 25 years. And I go back to those stats and that data, and I'm like, whoa, 97% loyalty, which is unheard of. So
that's crazy.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is that the company that you're now working with or partnering with, they have a 97% loyalty of keeping customers. That's unheard of.
Month over month.
Wow.
Year after year. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It is crazy. And then because photography is so seasonal, I wanted a company that I didn't have to deal with seasonality. So as I pursue my creativity and photography again, which will be fun, I didn't want to deal with the ups and downs of a seasonal business. So
does it cost loads of money to get into this then?
No.
Okay.
No
upfront. That's your next one. No upfront costs.
Okay. Right. So let me draw an analogy.
Okay.
As portrait photographers, okay, I can't count how many times I've heard a mom come in with a senior or I don't know, any family or whatever, and they're like, oh yeah, you know what, we're so excited because I'm getting my son or daughter, a lot of times daughter, or I'm getting her into modeling. Oh, we're so excited. Oh yeah, I mean the classes, well, I mean, you know, they're like $1,500, but then they're going to get her a lot of jobs, and it's going to be really great. And you're like, oh, how do I tell her? Don't do it. Run away from that. Because the whole business is you paying them $1,500.
Yes. Yes.
And guess what? There probably aren't any jobs. And if they really are interested in your daughter for modeling, they would want a percentage of her modeling jobs, not paying. And it's that, I've seen it a million times. And the same is true. There's a lot of horrible businesses out there that they're like, oh, there's a superhero kit. It's only $900 and run. So that was on my list. And so, and then I wanted something that I did the work and it paid me year after year for. I wanted that reoccurring income.
They're hard things to find. Reoccurring income is the holy grail, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, as photographers, I don't know about you, but no matter how successful you are, I remember owning our big photography studio and we'd have this killer year. I don't know. I mean, there's photographers out there, I know, you watch your daily, it's December, you're going to hit the big number. Can we hit that? How many figures we want to hit, and you hit it and you celebrate over the holidays. And then it's like January 4th, something hits you and you go, whoa, I got to do that again. I'm like, do you think we'll do that again? Do you think that? And it's exciting and it's fun and it's amazing. But, as I diversify my other business, I want a recurring income because of the loyalty. The loyalty will give me the returning and the recurring income.
So if this business keeps 97% of its clients, well, then automatically then you've got recurring income.
Yep.
That makes perfect sense.
Well, and whatever you're finding, whatever you're finding, just this is what you're looking for.
There's an old saying, because I tend to make stuff complex, quite often. And everyone's always saying to me, Ronan, KISS principle, keep it simple, stupid, keep it simple, stupid. And I know you put it far more eloquently than I do. You say you look for simplicity, right? Mm-hmm. So when you're looking at a business, you're looking for simplicity. Can you talk a little bit about that? What makes a business simple? Because I don't think any business is simple. So I'm waiting for you to tell me show me what I'm doing wrong.
No, I mean, we're so used to, I know when you own your own business, you're like, I have to do the website. I have to, find my overhead. I have to buy, I have to hire employees. I have to develop product. I have to think of the new greatest thing. Well, you're already doing that for your photography business. So my goodness, as I diversify, I don't want any of that in my diversification business. I want world-class product development, world-class online presence, world-class, I don't need rent, or I don't need to pay payroll. I don't want to do any of that. And so I don't need to improve my SEO. I don't need to think about anything. All I need to think about every day I wake up and go, who am I supposed to help with this? Who am I supposed to help with that? With this? Who needs me? That's all I have to do, and reach out. Okay. And that's it.
So you have this business up and running. It's called Nourish Each Other, right? So if people are interested and find out more about this, you want them to email you to have a conversation. So there's no hard sell here tonight. This was about the leveler that we've had now with COVID-19 is we all have to think about our businesses in terms of having diversity of income as best we can. And we're not saying you stop being a photographer tomorrow. What we're saying is this is an opportunity that you can bolt on, so you can do your business. And this type of business, they actually feed into each other, because they're both about believing in what you do, having purpose in what you do, but also they're built around relationships, right?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. Absolutely, Ronan. First of all, I think having another income stream will actually free people up to, as I mentioned, pursue your photography a little more on your own terms. And secondly, 8 years ago, we were running our business full throttle, and I was just engaging with this company that I'm deeply in love with now. And I did share it with customers, and just because I listened, who needs this? It's just about listening to who needs this or that. Because I have over 500 products to share. And when I shared it with people who needed it, they thanked me profusely. And it was just very gentle, and it was just, who needs it? Who needs this? Who can I help? And it was a really beautiful thing. And like you said, it's just all based on relationships, and it just fits so neatly together like a little glove. And I think that's why it was it was given to me 8 years ago.
And tell me this business, because so many businesses now are, we've gone from here to zero, photographers, restaurants, retail, so many businesses, airlines. What has happened this business during COVID-19?
Well, my company has had the busiest 2 months of their 35-year company. Their busiest 2 months has been this March and April, and it's because they have what people need. And without getting into too much detail, they have, I can share that privately, but yes. They have, it's, that story in Budapest, yes. That goosebump story. There's some goosebump stories with this company. And so I think about me being ready March 1st to join forces with this company. And now this company is the busiest it's ever been in 35 years in March and April. But you know what? I do want to stress that, Ronan, I do want to stress, when you ask me here, it's not all about this company. The real heart of what I wanted to get across is open your mind to diversifying your income outside probably of photographing people, so that if this reoccurs, or if anything happens, that you have more stability, like financial stability. Somebody, I think Rod Evans said to me, he's like, it's like a 3-legged stool. You need 3 forms of income to have a firm financial future. Yes. And I'm like, oh, that's a good one. I like that. That makes total sense. And I found my 3-legged stool, and
you're happy to share it with others.
Yeah,
right?
I'm excited to share it because I've done so much research in my heart and in my mind. But
if people do want to know more, I'm going to share your email. Is that okay? Your email address?
Yes, absolutely.
And share it in the chat.
Yeah.
And they just reach out to you, to your email. You'll have a conversation. There's no pressure. There's nothing. They can get more detail. And, you've explained it to me, and I think it's amazing. I think, we're proud of our NPS rating of 86, but we don't have anywhere near a retention rate of what you're talking about, So, and we work really, really hard, at keeping our clients happy. And, our customer service is not called customer service, it's called our client happiness department,
I love that.
So that's, the client is at the center of it. They're at the top of our organizational chart. We actually have our organizational chart from the center out, and the client's in the center. But, so when you say to me, this company, it just sounds absolutely amazing. So I'm going to share that now, Sarah. So I've posted it there, and it's going to let people know. Excuse me, I'm a one-finger typist. So email
Guy after my own
Sarah
heart there.
to know more. And we'll post the recording too in the think tank. And that will go in tomorrow. And I'll post that link in there as well. So thank you so much for sharing your story. Please give all of our love to Kent as well.
Wow.
It was lovely to have you here, and we really appreciate you.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're
All
welcome.
the best to everyone.
Good night. Good night. Good morning. Good afternoon, everybody. We'll see you again tomorrow. And we're out later tomorrow night. So tomorrow night we have Steve Sopriato. I never get his name right. Sorry, Steve, all the way from Australia. And Mary Fist-Taylor, a fellow XXV family member, will be doing another great interview with him. So join us for that tomorrow. So thank you again so much, Sarah. Have a great day, and see you all again soon. Bye for now.
Get some sleep.
I will.